Hey guys, I'm Becky and welcome to the first episode of Read 'em or Reap. Read 'em or Reap is a monthly video series that I am starting in 2025 to try and read all of the unread books that I have on my shelves. Now, I am not the creator of this trend. As far as I know, no one has this title, but I did not create the idea, and I'm not sure who exactly did, but there are two creators that I follow who do these series and inspired me to do so. So that is Becca and the Books and Olivia Reads a Latte. They both do it very differently, and I'm kind of taking ideas from both of them and combining it into my own. So first, let's show you my shelves. As you may or may not know, I have 4 bookshelves. There are 2 behind me, which are the ones that you normally see behind me in all of my videos. They are the first shelves that you see when you walk into my office/library, and these are all the books that I have read and love and want to showcase. And then you have this corner of my office/library, and this is all of the books that I physically own that I have not read. Now, when it comes to purchasing books, I don't really do that very much anymore. There are only 3 reasons that I purchase a physical copy of a book. The first one is that I'm going to immediately be reading it soon, so it's an auto by author, a series that I love, something that I'm pretty positive I'm going to love it. Either way, I'm probably going to want to own it, and so I buy it. The second reason that I purchase physical copies is if I get the urge to go book shopping, but as a poor person, that doesn't really work out. So then I head over to my local used bookstore, which I go maybe, if even, once a month, probably once every month, once a quarter. I usually spend less than $20 and I buy 1 to 4 books. Now those books I usually don't buy with the idea of reading them immediately. And then the third reason that I buy physical books is because I have already read it, loved it, and want to put it on my main bookshelves to show off. So as you can imagine, my main bookshelves are getting a bit full, which means eventually they're going to have to run over to these ones. And they currently can't because they are chocked full of books that I have not read. And most of these are books that I've had for a millennia. Books that I've had since Borders was open. So it's a lot of teen. There's a couple newer things mixed in. Some books that I've gotten from my local used bookstore, things like that. But I need to seriously get this under control. Ideally, I would love to just have 1 to 2 bookshelves of unread books instead of 2 bookcases. So we're going to see what we can do. So like I said, I was inspired by 2 creators, and that is how I'm going to be shaping up mine. So the way that Becca does it with Shelve It or Scrap It is she has more books than she has shelf space. So she has stacks of books on her floor. So every month she runs a number generator. She finds the book in those floor stacks, reads it, and then decides is she going to scrap it, meaning get rid of it, or shelve it. And if she decides to shelve it, then she has to find another book that's currently on her shelves that she would either like to read or scrap. And then Olivia, with her Read It or Unhaul It, she is in a similar case with me where she does have enough room for her books, but she just wants to tackle her unread books. So she is a mood reader, and she has a jar that has all of the books that are unread written on genre color-coded scraps of paper, and then she chooses one based on what genre she is feeling in the mood for, picks it out, reads it, and goes about her life. So I am kind of combining the 2. Since Becca has it where she wants to get rid of the books that are on her floor, she updates every single video with how many books we started with, how many she's read so far, how many she's added, and where the piles are at now. So I kind of want to do that, where I'm telling you how many books are currently on these shelves and how many we have read each month. So there's kind of an update to see how am I doing. And then the way that Olivia does it of mood reading, I would like to do that. I don't want to go so far as to do a TBR jar like she has. My goal in 2025 is to lean heavily into my mood reading because I think I will end up reading more than to keep setting TBRs. Because I'm somebody who loves a list, but I love to mood read. So I am trying to marry the 2 and kind of get an idea, a loose list, if you will, of what I could read, and then mood read from those. And that's kind of how this is. This is my list. Let's mood read through it. So that is the overarching plan for Read 'em or Reap. So I have to read them or I have to reap them, meaning get rid of them. Now the goal is to read at least 2 books a month. It doesn't matter if I end up keeping them or getting rid of them, DNFing them, finishing them. Doesn't matter. I just want to start reading, and decide if I am keeping them or getting rid of them every month. So for the first one, it's not so much mood reading. There's one that I could mood read. So now that brings us to the first episode. So the goal is to read 2, but the goal for this episode is to actually read 3 because there are some prompts for reading challenges and things like that that I need to get to. So we're gonna go for 3. And I think it can happen. And I have full confidence in myself to get this done. This one is a little bit different because instead of mood reading as soon as I turn the camera on or as soon as it's time to actually choose the book, this one's a little bit more planned out just because of the circumstances of having reading challenges and stuff that I'm going to be using this video for as well. So let me just explain. So the first reading challenge I have for this month that I'm going to be using my unread books to utilize from is the winter reading challenge that my local library does. It is a bingo sheet with prompts, and one of those prompts is to read a nonfiction. Now, it is a goal of 2025 to read more nonfiction to kind of fit it in, slot it into my life, if you will. 1 a month is hopefully the soft goal. Realistically, trying to get at least 5. But this is the perfect time to already jump on the goal wagon, if you will, and do this prompt so I can try to get a coverall. Now, I don't have a ton of nonfiction on these shelves. I only have maybe 6, and half of those are like loosely in a series. It's like a haunted places series, if you will. So like technically I could read them in any order. It doesn't really matter. But when I get to reading the nonfiction, we will then decide based on my mood which one I would like to read. So that one is still going to fall under the mood reading, but the other 2, not so much. So the other reading challenge is G from Book Roast does a magical readathon. I will have her video linked down below of explaining how exactly it works, but there are some month-long challenges where you read like the entire month for the readathon, and then there is some like bonus challenges, which one of those is to read 1 book a month based on a game, if you will. So the prompt for January is to read a book that was published in 2024, and I have the perfect book that has been sitting on these shelves. Actually, it's been sitting on my TBR cart because I desperately want to read it, but I bought it. Came out in 2024. I bought it in 2024. I wanted to read it in 2024 and just didn't. I don't know why. And now I'm forcing myself to. So that book is The Darkness Within Us by Tricia Levenseller. I know, guys, I still haven't read this freaking book, so this is its chance. This is its time. I'm reading it. I'm annotating it. I'm doing the damn thing. It's happening. And then the third book for this video is a book that is coming out at midnight. You might be able to guess which book that is, but it is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I'm so freaking excited about this book, and I purposely planned to do this video when this book came out because I was like, it's a book that I own. It counts. Let's just do it. Let's just do this together. Now, I will say this vlog is not going to have spoilers, or if it does, I will warn you so that you can skip over them. But there's not going to be any like unsolicited spoilers, if you will. So I'm going to be doing my best to not say anything, but if there's something I have to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about it. So it comes out at midnight. I am actually attending a midnight release party at Barnes & Noble for it, and I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait to get my grubby little hands on this book because I will be reading it as soon as it is placed in my hands, if I'm allowed. If I'm allowed to sit in Barnes & Noble's for a little bit and read it, I'm going to. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to read it. And then tomorrow I'm going to work from home and read it. And it's all that I'm going to do until I finally finish it. And I'm slightly anticipating that I might be a little slumpy after reading it, depending on what it does to me, because Rebecca Yarros has already said that she wrote the ending knowing that it was going to crush people and that they were going to cry. So just remember that when you read it and just think of her like maniacally laughing, knowing what she was doing. So I'm a little worried about that. So I think the best way to kind of get through that slump is to have 2 books that I like need to get on top of. So that is our plan for this episode. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm hoping to, at the very least, get some photos of the event tonight. I have never gone to a midnight book release party, and I'm super duper excited about it. I think in the future, I would definitely like to go to more. I don't know if I would like to go to them at Barnes & Noble, though. I personally prefer Books A Million over Barnes & Noble. I would prefer to go to them from now on, which I heard that they were doing one after I pre-ordered and signed up for the release party at Barnes & Noble. And the closest one to me is 30 minutes, so I didn't want to like convince my friends to go to that one instead. But there is another local bookstore that is about 15 minutes away from me, and they are talking about possibly doing midnight releases in the future, because some people have been asking if they were going to for Onyx Storm. So that's where I'll be spending my money in the future if they decide to do that. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, I should probably tell you what we're starting at. So there are currently 166 books on these shelves. I am not going to be updating that number throughout the year if I buy any books. That's just going to be the number for the year. And then if I am continuing this series next year, which I would like to, but at the same time, if I get through all these books, I don't have to, but that's not realistic. When I continue this series in 2026, I will then tell you like what number we started with in 2025, how many I read, how many we added, and what the new number is. But just to keep things easy breezy, we're just going to keep it at, we started at 166, here's how many we've read so far. So we're starting at 166, we've read 0, but we're going to change that right now. Hello, long time no chat. There was one other thing I forgot to mention. I do have a video showing all of my unread books one by one, other than Onyx Storm, obviously. And I strongly encourage you guys to watch that video and then comment telling me like what books you feel I really need to get to like ASAP, because I will be looking at those comments for inspiration going forward on future videos. So if you'd like any sort of say, that's where you should leave your thoughts. But alright, I am going to now do some work. It's Martin Luther King Day, if you haven't realized. So the library is closed today, which means I'm working from home. So I have some things I need to get done. I'm going to be finishing up an audiobook while I work today that I would like to try to finish before jumping onto this project. So my plan is to do that. So I'm going to be finishing the audiobook for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix that came out last week. So far it's really, really good. But I only have like a couple hours left, I think. So I'm going to try to finish that up before going to the midnight release party tonight. So that way we can just focus on books that I physically own and I'm reading. So I'm going to do some work, listen to that, and then I will see you guys later tonight. Hello. This clip is brought to you by bed. Yes, I'm in bed. I am going to start reading Onyx Storm for the day. I have already started it. I'm 50 pages in. Here she is. Like, look at how beautiful it is. So beautiful. You may notice, you may notice that I did not share any footage of the midnight release party, and that's because I didn't take any. I'm so terrible. I am not the take photos friend, and none of my friends are. So not between all 4 of us, not a single one of us took a photo, a video, nothing. Nothing. But we had such a good time. It was so fun just to like hang out, be excited, do fun stuff. There was trivia. So how they did it was based on some factors which don't fully make sense to me. They broke you up into squads. And by based on factors that don't make sense is that if you came to the store, signed up in person, and pre-ordered a copy to get that night at midnight, you were in first squad, which was a purple wristband. Now, I thought that was the only way to sign up for the midnight release party, so I don't know what the other wristbands, because there was at least 2 or 3 other wristbands. I know for sure there was a blue and a yellow. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So things were like kind of broken up by that. There was a costume contest, which my best friend Ro did win. And I knew she would, and she totally did. We had trivia, which we did not win because none of us are Swifties. And the bonus question was, what 2 Taylor Swift songs does Rebecca Yarros use to describe Onyx Storm? And we didn't know it at all. So we would have been tied if not for the Swiftie question, or would have won. So we were robbed. Something that was really funny that some people like took seriously, which was really interesting, is that our team name, we were between 3. So one was like cutesy, the other 2 were funny, and we decided to go with the most fucked up one. So our first choice was Bodie's Babes, because we love Bodie. That could have been fun. Our second choice was Violet's Left Knee, which is like one of the kind of fucked up ones, but it's just like funny. And my friend Selena, who is with us, she is having knee issues and might have to have knee surgery on her left knee, so she thought it was funny to kind of like nod to herself while also Violet with her joint issues. And then the one that was the most fucked up that we did go with was Jackie B's defense team. I seriously need t-shirts made. Now, we are by no means actually defending Jackie B, Jack Barlow, or Jack Harlow, as I like to call him. By no means are we on his team, think that he deserves anything at this point. I mean, like, there's always a redemption that could happen, but at this point, no. But the amount of people who asked us, like, is that for real? Like, no, it's just funny. Have you ever played trivia before? You come up with fucked up team names. God. But there was like coloring, pick your dragon by picking out a dragon sticker, find out your signet, just like lots of, like, a scavenger hunt. So there was like a lot of fun things that you could do. And they also did, open up the cafe and had signature drinks that were for that night only. Now, I did end up having to buy 2 because me and Selena went with Just Like Him, which was a chai cider drink. We were thinking it was going to be hot. It was an ice drink, and it was not that good. It tasted to me like a cold apple pie with ice cream, because I think there was like vanilla cold foam or something on top. It wasn't horrible to me, but I'm not that into apple. And by like apple, I'm not that into spiced apple. Selena said that it tasted like a candle, which was hard to get out of your head when she said it, and it just wasn't great. It really wasn't great. And we both got mediums like idiots. So then we went back and we got the Shadow Zaddy, which we didn't get originally because it has white chocolate in it, and neither of us are a fan of white chocolate, but it was the best drink. It was so good. They had to have put other chocolate things, so I'm thinking that it was probably like mocha. I know there was hazelnut in it, and then white chocolate. I don't know, but it did not taste like white chocolate. It tasted like a not so sweet milk chocolate drink, and it was lovely. It was like a chocolate milk iced coffee. It was amazing. And then we just kind of like vibed and hung out, and we did the costume contest, and then we got our copy, and it was just so freaking fun, but not a single one of us took a photo. So, and the whole night I'm like, we need to get a group photo, get a group photo. And we're like, yeah. And then we did. So apologies. But I have my book. I am 50 pages in, like I said. I'm annotating it. I'm physically reading it, which I'm so thankful about, because my biggest complaint, and like everyone's complaint with Iron Flame, was the pages were god-awful thin, the font was tiny as hell, and for some people, like, the font was blurred. And for me, I don't know if the font was just so small it looked blurred, or if it actually was, because sometimes I don't think it is, but when I try to read it, I'm like, this is fucking with my eyes really bad. And it could just be because it was too small. So I was really worried with this one that I was going to have the same issue and have to spend $15 on an ebook, which is what I had to do with Iron Flame. But no, it is completely legible. I am able to physically read it, and I am so here for it. So I am annotating. I'm having my good little time. I am ready to sit in bed and read more. I'm loving it. I will say it's 521 pages, I think, or 24 pages. I don't know. It's a little bit over 500 pages. So I don't think I'm going to get it done in like 2 days, like my friend was saying, and there's no way she's going to get it done in 2 days. So it's going to be like at least the rest of the week is what I'm banking on. But I'm ready. I'm here for it. I'm so excited. I mean, the action could pick up and it could fly by, but I'm expecting a minimum of 3 to 4 days, TBH. So once I get halfway through it, I will probably update you guys. But yes, it's so good so far. The first 50 pages have been so good already. And then I do have a little room ambiance going. I will show it to you. So I have this, I forgot, Soaring with Dragons at Biscayeth War College. So I have it muted because I don't know if the music is copyright, probably. So it's muted now. I'm going to be watching this while I read. And there have been a lot of Onyx Storm / Fourth Wing Biscayeth ambiance rooms that have come out. So if you have forgotten, down below I do have a link to my music to read to playlist, which is free for anyone to check out. It's just like all the ambiance rooms and things like that that I have curated and collected on a playlist. I have not made any of them. And there are quite a many of this series ambiance rooms on there. So if you would like to partake, feel free to go for it. But yeah, I think that's everything to update you on. I'm going to dive back into this. I'm so freaking excited. I will check in later. Hello. It is Saturday, the 25th. I am still not done with Onyx Storm, and it's kind of driving me crazy. But I have had like a pretty busy week. My friends still haven't really started it. So I'm just like going at my own pace, / there's not really a ton going on. So I have gotten to the 60% mark. I'm hoping to finish it by this weekend because I desperately need to, because as you know, we have so many other books to read. Well, 2, but that's a lot. So I'm 60% of the way through it. I'm either about to start or I just finished chapter 38. So if you know the anxiety that happens in chapters 36 and 37, yeah, that was a lot. That was too much. Years have been shaven off of my life, I feel. It was just so bad. So bad. But I am like slightly enjoying it. Well, I'm enjoying it, but I feel like it's very much a middle book. The pacing is pretty slow right now. We have just like this one main objective that is taking the entire book to fulfill, it seems. And I know that the ending is supposed to crush us. I have seen multiple people who I follow who have finished it and they're just like sobbing. And I'm nervous about that. So I'm kind of like along the way trying to guess of like what could happen. What could happen? And I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be like something awful happens but like it happens? Kind of like how book 2, like it's final and we know what happens, and like now just in book 3 we're kind of like dealing with the feelings and fallout of that ending. Or is it going to be something like somebody is taken, or we think this person or thing might be dead but we're not positive until we get to book 4? I don't know. So I guess we'll find out soon, because I feel like the next 40% is going to fly by, I think. I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like... So there's a war, there's bad stuff happening. Like, everyone knows the truth, we're trying to create alliances, we're trying to garner forces to try to vanquish the Venom and the Wyvern. But at the same time, that urgency isn't there. Like, I don't feel the urgent need that, like, we need to get back. You know? Like, right now it's kind of feeling like cozy fantasy, and then all of a sudden, like, anxiety-inducing stuff is involved. But I do think I'm liking it. I do think so. I don't know if it's going to get a 5-star, but we'll find out at the end of this. But yeah, I just want to check in because it's been many a day. I think it's so funny that like my best friend's like, oh yeah, like I'll be done with this in like 2 days, and then I can read our book club book because book club's on Monday. And now I'm on day, God, what is this? I'm on day 5 and I still haven't finished it yet. And she has barely started it. Plus she needs to finish the book club book. So, but yeah, I just want to check in because it's been so long and say, hey, I'm finally halfway through it. Here's my thoughts and feelings. And yeah, I will let you know my final thoughts once I finish it, which is hopefully by tomorrow. Well, folks, it's done. I have finished this fucking book. I don't even know what to say. And I'm probably going to have to wait another year for the next book. What's that about? You know? It's done. It's complete. I am giving it 5 out of 5 stars. It was definitely way better than book 2. For sure. Like, way better. I annotated the crap out of this. I did find myself, like, taking a long time. I mean, today it's Monday. It's almost, well, technically it's Tuesday because it's like 3 a.m. So it took an entire week for me to read this. But it's also, like, it's huge, and I'm trying to, like, absorb everything and remember everything and figure out theories and yada yada. And, like, oh my god. Oh my god. And, like, my theory of her signet, is all I'll say, was kind of correct. Not exactly what I was thinking, but yes. There's some other things that I guessed that yes. But other things that just came out of nowhere. And then that ending. What does that mean? Where do we go from here? Oh. And then the part where somebody leaves, where she like falls into a depression. I was at book club. Like book club was about to start and I was like, hold on, let me just finish this chapter real quick. And then I was crying at the club. This is so good. So good. I'll definitely be reading book 4 and 5 and going to the midnight releases and yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here? I have 2 books still that we need to read in this video, and the month is like vastly approaching and I'm trying to get it done before the 31st. So I would like to start my nonfiction, I think, via audio, just kind of like get that out of the way, and then try to read as fast as possible The Darkness Within Us, which I think I might try to get the ebook of so I can still annotate it, but if not, I do have the audio. So we might have to like do that and then like do a reread later if I love it to then annotate it. But as far as the nonfiction goes, I still am not sure what I'm going to pick. So I think we will just wait until tomorrow morning and pick it together really quick and then try to fly through that. I will see you guys on Tuesday. We will pick out my next read and I will try to just like cope with the feelings that are inside me. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, welcome to the next day, Tuesday. Still recuperating over Onyx Storm, which I think means is the perfect time to read the nonfiction pick. Because that way I'm not jumping back into another fantasy world just yet. But after today I should. So I have gathered up all the nonfiction, well, almost all the nonfiction that I physically own. And I think I've made a decision, but we'll go through it together. So the first one is sorry, I thought it was, ever since I pulled this, There's Gotta Be More to Life stuck in my head. Who is that by? Can't remember. But it's actually called There's More to Life Than This by Tricia Caputo. I originally, like, gut instinct thought this was going to be my pick. But after, like, reading what it's about, I don't really think I want to read it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it, actually. So that's good. I used to love Tricia Caputo. I mean, I feel like I don't know if I love her still, but I really, really liked her show. But now that I'm older and wiser, I wonder, is she real? Wouldn't it be wild if she wasn't? That'd be nuts. I should do a Google search. Really, really loved her show. Would watch it with my mom all the time. And yeah, just ate it up. But after reading what the book is about, it's kind of giving me mixed messages from the show, because I could have sworn in the show that she would always talk about, like, that the spirits talk about that they're, like, in a better place, or that they're happy, they're not feeling pain, but that she doesn't really know what heaven is like. And then I feel like that's what, like, all mediums say, is, like, they really don't know. So it's like, are you real or are you not? I don't know. I want to believe so bad. But in this book, she's going to talk about what heaven is like. Hello? She's also going to talk about, like, the roles that your family, friends, angels, and God play in life and in the afterlife. And I don't believe in God. And I know that Tricia Caputo does, and I know that that's, like, a big part of her whole thing is, you know, angels and spirit guides and faith and things like that. So I don't think I want to read this because I feel like it's really going to dive into that. So I think this book is out. The next one I have is Tomes of Terror by Mark Leslie, which this is a collection of haunted bookstores and libraries, which sounds interesting. It doesn't sound exciting. And it's also pretty big. I mean, it's not that big, but, like, I don't think I want to read this big of a nonfiction, which is interesting when we get to what I am going to read. So then I have Haunted Detroit by Nicole Beauchamp. I have had her at my library quite a few times. I really like her as a person. I have been interested in finally reading her books, and they are teeny tiny. But I would have to physically read it. And while, like, you know, there's lots of pictures and things like that, so it wouldn't be the end of the world to physically read this. I don't know if I'm in the mood to physically read, even though I'm very interested in this. But I don't think today is the day. So now brings us to the one that I think I am going to pick, which is Dad is Fat by Jim Gaffigan. I think I want something kind of like funny and lighthearted, and that's exactly what this book kind of promises to be. And I do have the audiobook that I can get on Libby, which Jim Gaffigan narrates. I would be very concerned if he didn't. So I think I might go ahead and go with this, even though, like, comparatively, they're probably the same size. But this is funny, whereas, like, this is going to be very serious, and I don't know if I'm going to care about the stories, you know? I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to listen to it. The audio is only 5 hours, and I don't listen at... Hello, Pepe. Move it along, kitty cat. The audiobook is 5 hours, but I don't listen at one-time speed, so I think, realistically, it's going to be, like, maybe 3 hours. Maybe 3.5. Maybe even 2.5. Because what if he speaks really slow and I can bump that baby up to 2 times speed? That would be nice. But yes, I think I'm going to go with this. I got this copy from BEA. And it is signed my best friend Becky. Shut up. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start this one before I jump back into fiction fantasy, because your girl's still coping. Now the good news is my friends are finally reading Onyx Storm. Like, I expected last night when I showed up to book club that there would be at least one person who had finished it so I could talk to somebody, but no. There are multiple people who have started it, but nobody as far as me. So the good news is that one of my best friends, Selena, is making some way. We use Fable to create a book club for me, her, and my best friend Ro to talk about the books that we're all buddy reading at the same time. So she is starting to like really get into it. I think she's like either past chapter 20 or like around there. So I'm excited to finally have somebody to talk to stuff about. And then Ro was supposedly staying up all night to read as much as she could. I don't believe that she did. She goes to bed at like 9, okay? I don't think that that happened. So we will see tomorrow where they're both at so that I can talk to somebody already because I need to talk about this book. But okay, I'm going to jump into Dad is Fat, finish up working from home, and that's pretty much about it. Oh, I do have a guest here. So we do have Pepe. Isn't he just adorable? But then we also have Sophie. She's dead asleep. Oh, I open Sophie. 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 She does not care. She's like, I am not being a part of your vlog. I just want to sleep. And then of course Ebony, I think, is in the bedroom, sleeping on the bed. Oh, I didn't even tell you what Dad is Fat is about. So it's about Jim Gaffigan. Shocking. But it's kind of like about him being a comedian while being a father, because he has 5 children, and at least that's all he had when this book was written. And at least when this book was written, he was living in a 2-bedroom apartment with his wife and 5 kids. How does that work? Is like the entire bedroom just a bed and all 5 kids are in there? Like, that's insane. Like, I guess they're all small, but that's crazy. So I'm gonna get started on this. I have a good feeling that it's gonna be pretty good. Hello, it is Thursday, the 30th of January, also my baby brother's birthday. I'm here to tell you that I've finished a book and I'm more than halfway through another one. So I did finish Dad is Fat by Jim Gaffigan. I am giving this book 2 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It was funny. It was easy to listen to, but I was a bit bored, and it's mainly because the main point of this book is being a father and having children and how that changes you and shapes you, I guess. And I don't have children and I don't plan on having children, so this really didn't resonate with me. So 2 out of 5. It would be 1 out of 5 if it wasn't a little bit interesting, so 2 stars. I am deciding if I should include this in my book blanket or not. If I should make a granny square for it. I don't know. Because I didn't love it, but I did read it. So I have to decide if I want to include nonfiction or not. So that is something to figure out before I get rid of this, because I don't think I'm going to keep it. I think I might rip out the page that has the signature, since it is personalized, and then just stick it in like a little free library. Then I immediately started my next read and my final read of this video, which is The Darkness Within Us by Tricia Levenseller. I am currently more than 50% of the way through. I don't know if you can see this. This little bit is all I have left. This is the special editions that they came out with. You can get them pretty much anywhere, I believe, but it has like the sprayed edges, ribbon bookmark. I don't know if the like map is exclusive, but then it has the exclusive, the exclusive hard jacket or hardback. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about though. I am enjoying this a lot. It is good, but I am not in the camp that this is better than book 1. It's better than I expected because it's following the sister from book 1. So if you don't know, book 1 is The Shadows Between Us, which I loved. 5 out of 5 stars, reread it, loved it just as much, if not more, the second time. Such a vibe. This one is interesting. It follows her sister, who we do not like, but you find out that that's all kind of an act to get where she wants to be in life, which is to be free and not controlled by men, which, like, here for it, sister. And I'm enjoying it, and it's interesting, but I don't know, it just doesn't have that spark in it that the first one did. Like, the first one just really, really grabbed me from the get, and I devoured it and loved every second of it and was just crushing and craving for more from our main characters. Whereas this one is interesting, and I'm enjoying it, and you can definitely see some sparks, but it's just not all-consuming like the first one was. So I am anticipating it's going to be a 4 to a 5. I wouldn't be shocked if it got 5 stars by the end, but it just isn't the same level as book 1. But it is good. I am enjoying it. I will say I was flipping through to see where I was, because I haven't been keeping track in the physical book, because I have been listening to it on audio, which is actually really good, by the way, if you're considering it. I have a copy from Libro FM, so I decided to just go ahead and listen to that because I wanted to crochet while at Silent Book Club, which I did, which I need to now figure out the situation with Dad is Fat and then get cracking on the one for this one. But I decided to listen to the audiobook so I could crochet, and it's actually really good, so that's how I've been sticking with it. And I was flipping through and saw the scene where he ends up giving gifts to the staff, and she gets mad because she thinks that they're like bribing, she thinks that he's like bribing them basically, and he thinks that she's mad because he didn't give her a gift. And so he says that of like, are you mad because I didn't get you anything? And she's like, no, of course not. And then she goes back to her rooms that night, and there is a gift outside her door. And so she's like, oh my God, he did get me a gift. And so she takes it into her room and opens it, and there's nothing in it besides a note that says, so you did want a gift from me. And she's like, no, I didn't. And like throws it back outside. And I just loved it. I thought that was so cute. So there are like moments like that where I'm like really liking it, but it's just not book 1. And that's okay. But alright, I just wanted to update you guys. Say that I'm doing the thing. I am finally setting accomplishable goals and reaching them. I know. Who am I? I come to you this Sunday to tell you I've finished a book. Now, I did finish this days ago, but I just never got a chance to update you guys. So here I am finally on February 2nd to tell you that I did in fact finish this book. I think I finished it the last time I updated you guys. I think when I got done talking to you, I then went and finished it that night. So like I was saying, I did enjoy it. And some people, including my friend Anne, has said that they found this one to be better than book 1. And that's just not the case for me. This is really good, and I enjoyed it, and it kept me reading, but it did not have the razzle-dazzle, the magic, the oomph. Oh, hello, Pepe's Tale. Okay. The oomph of book 1. So, I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I did enjoy it, and I really liked getting to know her sister because we do not like her in book 1. So it was kind of like a Feyre Nesta situation, but not as well done because I prefer Nesta over Feyre now. I have read all 3 books that I wanted to read in this video. I am keeping 2 of them and donating the 1, which is Dad is Fat. But otherwise, it was a total success. We got everything done that we wanted to, read more books than was the original goal for these videos, and I'm feeling so good about this project now. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for kind of encouraging me to read the books that are on my physical shelves. And also don't forget to check out the video that I go through all of my unread books and let me know what books you think I should try to prioritize. Don't forget to keep reading, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!